of the morning, people. Mike down here at the old Gatekeeper Garage radio room, listening to some stuff this morning, a little bit after 6 o'clock. I wanted to retouch on yesterday's commitment to my bio videos. So I had touched a little bit on my up to about 10-year-old mark yesterday. Went through a few items, just real briefly. Like I said, I didn't really get in depth on much, but just to touch a little bit so maybe you guys can know me a little bit more. So anyways, today I'm going to start at like 10 years old as best I can, just some little stuff. When I was about 12 years old, my dad and I got to go to California on maybe a little pop trip, I guess. My brother and my mom got to do a thing with the school where they went to the Gator Bowl in Florida. And so my dad and I got to take a trip to Cali, and we did some little bit of visiting out there with friends. I got to see some Universal Studios stuff, so that was pretty neat. And then as I moved forward, a young teenager and stuff like that, I did sports. My track stuff when I was in middle school, just some light stuff like that. And then once I got to high school, I decided football was my way to go. So did a lot of football in high school, which also contributed to more of my stories as injuries started. Knee surgeries. I had 6 knee surgeries before I was out of high school, so that was kind of a bummer, hard on my body. A couple concussions. My mom really loved high school football, and I'm glad she had good insurance because otherwise I probably wouldn't be here. But anyways, so through them high school years, also the other end, I experienced some obviously death. My grandparents passed, and so I had some growing up. I grew up sort of fast with some experiences in my early teens and late teens, I guess. As I got to the end of high school, I graduated, and by that time my dad had a bout with cancer, and so I had been through that kind of stuff. And when I graduated, very soon after I graduated, I ended up with my first child. So I really got to grow up fast, and so my time towards the end of my teens, I went through fire and rescue. My dad was big into fire and rescue, so I followed his steps a little bit, and that got me right up through the end of my teen years. Which, again, by the time I was 19, I had some pretty big shoes to fill up, man. Like I said, I had made a baby and committed to being an adult, so I had to have a big job. I kind of wanted to do some college, but those dreams got dashed with adulthood. So anyways, so that sort of got me up through the 20 range. I mean, I know I went a little bit fast. There was a lot of things that happened in my high school career, and like I said, girlfriends, and a real good friend that I had through high school and everything. So it was a fun time. So yeah, it got me up to the 20 age, which when I turned 21, man, life really started to accelerate. So the next little section, I guess, that we're gonna have in this segment, a segment will be maybe a little more exciting. Like I said, the first part of my life was just about as normal as a kid, anyways. Bumps, bruises, any kind of things like that. I went through some, trauma with experiencing some death stuff and things like that. Fire department and rescue was a big part of my time there, so that was always, I had fun with that. My dad was into that all the way through my childhood, I guess, so I seen lots of things in that neighborhood, so good time. Anyways, here we are again, like I said, Friday morning, and I appreciate everybody watching this segment. Hopefully, I didn't put you to sleep with dumb stuff, but I just want you guys to at least get into old Gatekeeper's backyard a little bit, man, and know where I'm at. So thanks for watching, and I'm going to tune this thing up.